Dear students, I am going to teach class 9 biology, chapter 4, and in this chapter you will learn about tissue. The syllabus is given here. What is tissue? That means you have to learn about the definition of tissue. Then at first you will learn about plant tissue and its classification, then animal tissue and classification of animal tissue. At first I am teaching plant tissue, then I will teach you animal tissue. So what is tissue? You know what is tissue actually because you have learned the same in previous classes. A tissue is a group of similar cells performing the same function. When a group of same type of cells perform the same function, it is called a tissue. The definition which is given here: a tissue is a group of cells which have a common origin, similar shape, size and structure, and perform the same function. Now plant tissue. Plant tissue is divided into two types: meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue consists of young cells that have the capacity to divide throughout the life of a plant. That is why they are responsible for the growth of plant, and the structure of meristematic tissue is given here. You just go through the diagram. It is given very nicely in the book also. I am just giving some important points. The cells are very small in size. They are very compactly arranged. There is no intercellular spaces between the cells. Most of the portion of the cell is covered by cytoplasm. Nucleus is also present. So these are some of the characteristics of meristematic cells. Now meristematic tissue can be divided into three types according to their location. According to the location, meristematic tissue divided into three types. Number 1, apical meristem. Number 2, lateral meristem. And number 3, intercalary meristem. Apical meristem, it is located at the tip of root, shoot and leaves. Apical meristem present at the tip of roots, at the tip of shoots and tip of leaves. Therefore it helps the plant parts to grow in length. It is also called primary meristem. You just see the diagram given here. Apical meristem is showing. Then lateral meristem. Lateral meristem, it is found on the sides of roots and stems. In the diagram, lateral meristem is not labeled clearly. You just see that two vertical lines are there. These vertical lines are lateral meristem. So it is found on the sides of roots and stems, and lateral meristem helps the plant to increase its diameter. So it is found on the sides of roots and stems. It helps in increasing the diameter and girth of plants. Then intercalary meristem. I think you know what is node and internode. node is the portion of stem from where leaves or branches come out, and the gap between two nodes is called internode. That means what is given here, it is located at the base of internodes. That means base of internodes means nodes from where the leaves or branches come out. So it increases the length of the organ and the branches. Then, so we have already discussed about meristematic tissue. Now, permanent tissue. Then permanent tissue actually originated from meristematic tissue. So when the cells lost the capacity of division, they are called permanent. We just go through the definition given here. A permanent tissue is made up of cells which have lost their ability to divide. They derived from meristematic tissue. Then types of permanent tissue. Actually, permanent tissue at first divided into two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue, it is made up of same type of cells, and complex permanent tissue is made up of different types of cells. Then simple permanent tissue is divided into three types. Here permanent tissue is divided into three types: supporting, conducting and protective. Actually, these are the divisions of simple permanent tissue. So permanent tissue or simple permanent tissue divided into three types. These are supporting, conducting and protecting. Supporting means they provide strength, mechanical strength to the plant. Conducting means this tissue helps in the conduction of food, water and minerals. Protective means provide protection to the plant parts. Now, at first I am discussing about supporting tissue. Now, I have already told you what is the function of supporting tissue. They provide support and strength to the plants. There are three types of supporting tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Here I have given two diagrams, parenchyma and collenchyma. You just see the cells of parenchyma. The cells are almost oval or polygonal in shape. Intercellular spaces are there. Nucleus is present. Cells are living. These are some of the characteristics of very common important characteristics of parenchymatous cells. Cell wall is very thin and formed of cellulose. Cellulose is a polysaccharide. Therefore, to some extent, parenchymatous cells provide mechanical strength also. And the main function of parenchyma tissue is to store food. So what is the function of parenchyma tissue? Parenchyma tissue provide mechanical support to the plant, I mean temporary support to the plant, and store food. Then collenchyma. See, the cells are elongated in structure, and actually two structures are given for collenchyma cells. One is the LS, that is longitudinal section, another was TS, that is transverse section. It is very clearly given in transverse section. See, the corner of the cells are thickened. The cell wall is not thickened uniformly, only the corners are thickened. So cells are living, parenchyma cells also living, collenchyma cells also living, elongated and thickened at the corners due to the deposition of pectin or cellulose. Due to the deposition of pectin and cellulose, the cell corners of the cell are thickened. Now, what is the function of collenchyma tissue? Though the corners are thickened, that is why they provide mechanical support to the parts of the plant. Then sclerenchyma tissue. Sclerenchyma tissue consists of two types of cells: sclerenchyma fiber, these are the dead cells, and sclerites or stone cells. Sclerites or